Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Corner, and welcome to this Simpsons Treehouse of Horror review video as part of my current series of September here. Today, we're going to take a look at the fourth Treehouse of Horror episode from season five. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. This aired in the fifth season on October 28th, 1993. It's the fourth official Simpsons Halloween special, or the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode. Um, this is a good one. This is actually one of my favorites from the whole episode standpoint. All three segments are really solid in this one, and this will be in contention at the end of the month for one of my favorite overall Treehouse of Horror episodes. So let's just get starting with the wraparound. So this was actually the last Treehouse of Horror episode that had a wraparound to it. I believe everyone after this, or at least in the first 12 seasons that I'm aware of the ones I'm going to be covering, it would go right into the different segments at this point. So they scrapped the wraparound after this episode in season five. But it's a night gallery wraparound, basically. So you have Bart sort of playing Rod Serling to introduce each of these paintings, which may or may not have anything to do with the actual segments that he's introducing. It's pretty funny. It's a pretty good, especially just coming off of watching Night Gallery. It's a pretty enjoyable wraparound, in my opinion. So you have Bart introducing, and then before and after each of the different paintings or segments that he introduces, each member of the family comes in and has a little back and forth with them. I think Marge and Maggie first, then Lisa, and then finally Homer before the last one. And again, when the third segment's over, that's the end of the episode. It doesn't go back to the wraparound for wrap up. So that's that. This is episode 86 of the series. It's the fifth episode of season five, as I said. Aired on October 28th, 1993. The whole episode is directed by David Silverman, and it's the Night Gallery wraparound is written by Conan O'Brien, actually. Um, and then we get into our first segment that's introduced, and that's entitled "The Devil and Homer Simpson." This was written by Greg Daniels and Dan McGrath. This is basically an episode having to do with Homer and donuts, and the devil basically giving up his soul for a donut one morning at work, and the devil turns out to be somebody you're not expecting, and it's just kind of Homer tries to not eat the whole donut so that he thinks he outsmarts the devil, and it's a really good segment. It just he has to try to basically fight for his right to stay on Earth and not have his soul belong to the devil, even if he does eat the entire donut, which of course it's Homer, so he does. But I really like this segment. It has one of my favorite side characters of Lionel Hutz, played by the late great Phil Hartman, who's one of my absolute favorite voices on this entire series. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman. Very sad story there. Um, but yeah, it's just a really enjoyable segment. It's got some great animation, some really good Homer jokes, and some good overall Simpsons jokes. Um, there's one part of it that actually was kind of scary when I was young watching this, where the Homer does the whole "I'm smarter than the devil, I'm smarter than the devil," and then there's this a huge, great animation where the person that's the devil turns into like this larger than life vision of the devil. That kind of actually scared me when I was a kid. Doesn't now, of course, but yeah, just a great segment. The devil and Homer Simpson. Then we get our second segment, which is Terror at 5.5 feet. Oh, by the way, the devil and Homer Simpson's obviously a takeoff of the devil and Daniel Webster. Terror at 5.5 feet is obviously a takeoff of Nightmare at 20,000 feet from a famous Twilight Zone episode with Bill Shatner, and then also the Twilight Zone movie with um, why can't I think of his name? Oh, John Lithgow. There we go. So Terror at 5.5 feet was written by Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, and this is in essence about Bart has a nightmare to start the episode where he's on the school bus with Milhouse, and they have some dialogue, and then all of a sudden the tire flies off the bus, and the bus is about to run into a semi or something, and then Bart wakes up in a cold sweat or a hot sweat, And then it's a rainy morning, and he has to get on the bus again, and it's just yeah, it very much plays on the terror at 20,000 nightmare at 20,000 feet, the Twilight Zone. It's just a very fun episode. Lots of great humor, great jokes. Again, good animation, good creature that they use on the side of the bus. Very Simpsons esque. I really enjoy the resolution or the ending of this episode as well, or this segment, I should say. Yeah, Terror at 5.5 feet's an absolute classic Treehouse of Horror segment. Um, and then our final segment is Bart Simpson's Dracula, which is clearly a take on Bram Stoker's Dracula. This was written by Bill Canterbury. And this is ultimately one about the Simpson family being invited to Mr. Burns's house in Pennsylvania, aka Transylvania, but it's Pennsylvania, which is just a great Simpsons quip there. But yeah, this is a really good segment as well, with Mr. Burns obviously being a vampire, and the Simpsons discover that some before others in the segment, and then a member of the Simpsons family ends up becoming a vampire as a result of being there and getting bitten, and then the family ultimately discovers that and has to try to get things right again. And this is another one that has a great ending to the segment. I would argue even a little bit. It's a pretty out there ending, but I really enjoyed it. It's just it really makes no sense, but it's part of what makes The Simpsons great. At least the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. But yeah, Bart Simpson's Dracula, just another great segment. This entire episode's just full of great segments. It's really hard to rank these, but I would have to say Terror at 5.5 feet is my favorite one. Just the creature, the animation, the jokes. There's a lot of fun to be had here. Then I would probably say the Devil and Homer Simpson would come in at number two. I just really enjoyed like the visuals of hell, and the trial that they end up having, and some of the guest appearances that you get with the people that come from hell. And there's a really funny Richard Nixon reference, and just a really good, funny overall segment. And then I would say Bart Simpson's Dracula would be third, but these are all pretty high up. There's not a huge drop in quality with any of these. I really enjoy Bart Simpson's Dracula, especially again with the Mr. Burns and Smithers aspects of it. And yeah, it's just a really fun segment. But yeah, this whole episode really works for me. To me, up to this point, it's the best Treehouse of Horror episode that we've gotten so far. Will that continue? You'll just have to wait and see. But up to this point, the fourth Treehouse of Horror, the fourth Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode, or the fourth Simpsons Halloween special, if you will, is definitely the best one in my opinion. All three of these segments are fantastic, and I really had a good time with this one. Rewatching it again, I realize how much I enjoy this one. So yeah, that's the fourth Treehouse of Horror episode for The Simpsons. Go ahead and comment down below what your favorite segment is from this particular episode. And if you love this episode as much as I do, or if you don't, why not? Please like this video and hit the little notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my upcoming Treehouse of Horror episode reviews. And please make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't not only miss the rest of this series, but what I have coming up, my 31 days of Halloween coming up in October, and even beyond that. I got some fun things coming up on my horror channel. So thank you for watching this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're doing well, but stay scared. Bye.